Café and Networking Podcast promotes entrepreneurs, startups, authors, business experts throughout the world. I'm Tom Reaoch, an American known as the King of Networking, connecting people and speaking from my studio in Vinhedo, São Paulo, Brazil. And today we talk with Karin Freeland. She's joining us from Greenville in South Carolina in the United States. Karin Freeland is a female entrepreneur, owner of Karin Freeland Life Coaching and Consulting. She's an author, a Certified Life and Reinvention Coach, speaker, helping successful working women reinvent their lives, reach their full potential, whether to transition out of corporate or simply looking for more work-life balance boundaries. And they use her signature Edit Your Life program. Karin, how does Edit Your Life help women become unstuck?
Hi, Tom. Thanks so much for having me today. So the short answer for how Edit Your Life helps women become unstuck is that I help women get really clear on their purpose, help them own their power, and build a pathway to freedom, whatever that looks like for them. And I do that by really giving them a space where they get to show up and 100% authentically be themselves. A place where every dream, every thought, every emotion can be entertained and validated. And it might not seem like that's such a big deal. You're like, well, that seems like pretty normal. Like, okay, that's not rocket science. But honestly, these women need that, and they don't have that in their day-to-day life.
Well, what I've seen, and I feel that's not only with women, many people don't realize that they are stuck.
Right.
When we see the car stuck in the mud spinning the tires, we see that. But people who may be spinning their wheels, they might not feel stuck.
Well, that's a good point. And there's a lot of what I call symptoms. It's almost like a doctor, right? When you go and you get treated for something, they're sometimes treating the symptoms, but you really want to get to the underlying cause. So some of the symptoms could be that lack of self-care, right? We're just not working out or taking care of ourselves. We're not taking 20 minutes to give ourselves a break or go get a pedicure or something.
Right.
It's that we have no hobbies or recreation. We've lost touch with most of our friends, family members. There's this boredom, this lack of self-growth and development. But again, those are all just symptoms. The underlying cause and why I focus so heavily Edit Your Life on discovering your purpose is because they're lacking that deeper sense of meaning. If you have meaning and excitement in your life and you have a purpose that you wake up and drives you and fuels you every day, you don't need a bunch of Monday motivations on LinkedIn to get you out of bed and get you excited for the week, right? Like that's already internally propelling you.
But sometimes we get up in the morning, we look in that mirror, and two things can happen. You can feel excited about being alive and being up again and doing things. And the other side, some people don't like what they see. And many times we don't really see what we're looking at.
Yeah. And there's a couple of things there, right? So one of the things I try to help my clients with is to really focus on what is that thing that they want to see, right? So when they look in the mirror, what do they wish they saw? And so once they can figure that out, it's like, okay, well then how do we get there? Let's make those changes. Let's take that path. And oh, by the way, what are the things that you think you're seeing that are bad that actually are beautiful and are exactly part of who you are that we actually don't want to change maybe, but we just want to get you to see it from a different perspective.
And
so
you also help people look out to the horizon. You show people a different view.
Oh, picking your head up. Because think about it. These women that I'm coaching are high achieving, successful women, but they are also workaholics.
Right.
And they have completely identified with the numbers on their paycheck, the title that they have on their business card. That becomes their full identity. So they don't give themselves permission to pick their head up from business and the horizon to say, what do I want out of, in the grand scheme of things?
Right.
What is that legacy I want to leave for myself? You know, what is that life I want to live? And when I can give them a space to create that, it is so empowering.
Oh, you also have the experience because you're out there in the real world and you see where tendencies are and where the world is going. Many times when a business person, man or woman, they're just so highly intense in looking what they're doing, they sometimes lack touch in what's happening around them. And that could be professionally, career-wise, personally, whatever.
And it's very lonely at the top. You know, the higher you go in an organization, the more isolated you actually become, because people put you on a pedestal. People treat you differently. And so a lot of these women who are, you know, director, VP and above, they've lost that sense of community. And that's one of the reasons I created my Facebook group, Successful Working Women Reinvention, because I wanted a space for these women to come that was off of LinkedIn, where they could get that support and that community and have friends who are going through similar transitions.
So what you're saying, that people could be on the pedestal, but they can be stuck. They may want to get off and they're not sure how to.
Oh, that's just it, Tom. Like, everybody, most of the clients that I come to, on paper, their life looks so glamorous. They have got the multiple six-figure salary. They have the fancy car in the driveway. They have a marriage and kids and healthy kids. You know, everything looks great from the outside. But there is this gaping hole inside of them. And they just know there has to be more to life than this. What am I really here for? What is my true purpose? What was I sent here to do? And, you know, for myself included, it was like, I can't make any more PowerPoints to justify my existence to someone else. Like, this is not why I was put here. It can't be. There has to be more.
So really, you're not offering the ladder to come down from the pedestal. You're also offering maybe the salvation, the plank to move to another pedestal or other pedestals.
Absolutely. I mean, I get so many women who want that bigger purpose. They have that heart-centered drive, who end up actually going to nonprofits. So they don't leave the working world altogether, and maybe starting a business isn't the right feel for them, but they go to a nonprofit and maybe make a fraction of what they used to make, but it's not about the money. They realize that all the money in the world isn't going to fulfill them and make them happy.
It's giving back what we've received. I don't say what we've taken, but what we've received.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a beautiful thing when you can create that space to volunteer or to serve other people. I mean, that's what gets you out of bed in the morning. That's what gets you excited about living life.
Well, it's not only getting out of bed, it's staying awake and doing something, right? They're just standing there, right? Brushing your teeth all day doesn't work.
Right. Yeah. And that's one of the things with Edit Your Life. You know, I have a very simple 4-step process that I take my clients through. And so I make sure that I'm holding them accountable the whole way for taking action, because we can dream about it all we want. We can think about it. We can even document and make plans. But if we are not taking the right steps and moving forward, it's not going to come to fruition.
So to take that step and find you, what's the best way for our listeners?
Absolutely. You can check out my website, KarinFreeland.com, and you can obviously find me on all of the social media channels as well, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Everything.
Yes, everything.
Okay, Karin, I want to thank you for sharing your time and your experience with us, our listeners, okay?
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And for our listeners, you can find more about Karin Freeland, and her name is Karin, Karin, Freeland, Freeland. Find her on LinkedIn, as she said, or her site, KarinFreeland.com. KarinFreeland.com. That's Karin with an I. There on her site, you'll find the free e-guide and 6 secrets to get unstuck. Café Networking is brought to us by Focus Semi-Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information on their website, focusmi.com. Thanks for listening until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.